I'm Lonnie Jones, and you're in the Mindset Garage. I'm a guest of Brandon occasionally on his website and like to talk things that are philosophical that also involve jiu-jitsu. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about maintaining space or controlling distance. I like to talk about it from the standpoint of dictating the distance. In a absolute pure self-defense mode, if I'm protecting myself from somebody, I want to dictate the distance. I can create distance by simply stepping away. I can create distance by pushing them out of my space. I can use a chair. I can use a table. I can use a car door. I can use that old-fashioned Hoist Gracie Hey Trigger count to three move that he used so much in the UFC. Anything that makes you stay away from me. If I'm using just my hands, that's one thing. If I use a baton or a stick, I make a fence or a barrier between us and keep you pushed off. That's pretty healthy. In the situations where I've been exposed to using, a force multiplier or even a knife, I like to use the knife in an inverted position, the blade up. You lose a lot of leverage cutting down. Ideally, you want to stab somebody with a knife, but that if I'm not going to stab or I need to keep you off of me, this hand stays out here, it creates distance. You've got to touch this hand, you've got to get past this hand before you can get to my knife and take it away from me. If I do that classic lead with that knife thing, anybody who's worth their salt can take it away because action beats reaction. But if I'm here, you've got to make two steps, two moves to get to me. You touch my hand, I move it away, I cut it and step back. You come in, I cut you and move away. You dive at me, you eat this knife. And so the fact that I can create distance keeps you from being able to get in and get access to me and makes you very, very cautious about what you're doing with that force multiplier or that knife. And you take that into the jiu-jitsu mat, then you're basically going to dictate the distance between you and your opponent. Space equals escape. If I can create space using my frames, using anything, my hip action or a shrimping move, if I can create space, I've got holes I can get out of. I can get a knee in, I can get an arm in, I can escape an arm or whatever. Space equals escape. Contact equals control. If you put me into a position where I can't get away, then I'm going to suck up all the space between us. That's the idea of a clinch anyway. And once I take up all the space between us, you don't have any options for movement. You don't have any option for aggression. You don't have any options for attack. You can't throw an effective punch or even an effective kick. So space equals escape. Contact equals control. And then I like to add to that, if you control the head, you control the body. I get a hold of your head in a guillotine, get a hold of your head in a Marcelo Garcia chin strap choke. I can get a hold of your head in a rear naked choke. I get behind you and control your torso with a seat belt grab or some kind of an over the shoulder, under the shoulder from the rear. Convert that to what I call a compression lock or a Lindsay choke. Then if I control anything, I control you. In fact, if I can take control of something that doesn't belong to me, I ruin your day. If you allow me to take control of a wrist, an arm, a knee, an ankle, a shoulder, I'm going to win that match. I'm going to not only ruin your day, but could possibly ruin your life. And speaking about life, if I allow other people to control things that don't belong to them, if I allow you to control my worth, if I allow you to control my self-esteem, if I allow you to control my value or my satisfaction or my happiness or my accomplishment, if I've let your opinion or your mood or your ideas that are different than mine, and then it's okay to have different ideas, but if I let you dominate me and you control my sense of satisfaction because you disagree with me, I've given you the power to control my soul. If I let somebody take control of something that doesn't belong to them, my worth, my life, my happiness, my mood, my satisfaction, then I've given up that match. See, not only is it important as a jiu-jitsu practitioner for us to maintain space and dictate how we use that, but I think we also need to maintain emotional space from toxic people. We need to maintain psychic space from toxic people. We need to maintain maintain space from toxic habits or toxic environments. If you learn to dictate distance using frames, creating borders, setting limits, Cloud and Townsend in their book talk about establishing boundaries. When you learn to establish healthy boundaries, distance from toxic people, toxic places, toxic things, and toxic habits, when you control your life and don't let these outside forces control you, you'll be a happier, more successful person. And kind of an inverse of that, there are people who will give you control of things that you don't belong. There are people who will give you control and make you responsible for things that you really don't control. They'll say, I'm going to let you be in control of my mood or my success or my happiness or my addiction. And if you accept responsibility for the things you don't control, that person manipulates you and controls your soul. See, if I could make you mad, if I had that ability to walk into a place and literally control your emotional, if I could make you mad, I could make you happy. So if you're mad at me, that's not my doing, that's your doing. If I could make you mad, I could make you happy. If I could make you drink, I could make you sober. If I could make you use, I could make you clean. If I could make you fail, I could make you succeed. If I could make you quit the gym, I could make you stay here every week. If I could make you kill yourself, I could keep you alive. See, one of the very important things about maintaining distance and establishing space, don't let people control things that don't belong to them. My self-esteem, my ego, my mood, my competency. But don't take responsibility for things that you don't control. Because see, if I could really control those things, you'd act differently. See, if you're acting in a way that I wouldn't choose for you to act, then I'm not driving this bus. A very healthy life lesson is learn to maintain distance, learn to create boundaries, learn to set limits, and don't accept responsibility for the things that you don't control, and don't let other people control the things that don't belong to them. I'm Lonnie Jones. I'm a friend of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. This has been a visit to the Mindset Garage.